The last few hours in Las Vegas have been pure chaos, with two shocking updates involving key players on the roster. One centers around Jakobi Meyers, who's coming off his best season and is now making unexpected moves behind the scenes. The other? A serious blow to one of the most fragile areas of the team, just as the roster was nearly finalized. Things are far from calm behind the scenes, and decisions made in the coming days could completely shift the direction of the season. If you're a true Raiders fan and don't want to miss anything, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. Just days before teams lock in their 53-man rosters, the Las Vegas Raiders have been rocked by a surprising twist. Jakobi Meyers wants out. Yeah, you read that right. According to Ian Rappaport, Meyers has formally requested a trade after talks over a contract extension reportedly fell apart. And considering the dude just balled out with the best season of his career, his first ever 1,000-yard campaign, you can't really blame him for wanting a little love on the paycheck side, especially when other big names like Max Crosby and Colton Miller already secured their bags earlier this offseason. But here's the kicker. The Raiders? They're not budging. Word is the front office sees Meyers as too important to the offense to just let him walk, even with the trade request hanging in the air. They're basically saying, yeah, we hear you, but nah. So now Meyers, who's 28 and still in his prime, is looking at playing out the final year of his current deal unless someone comes in swinging with a monster offer. And let's be real, there are teams out there who'd kill for a reliable, versatile receiver like this guy. He's not just a slot machine, he's been money across the board. This puts Vegas in a bit of a tricky spot. Letting this simmer could backfire big time. If they're not going to extend him and he doesn't want to be there long term, it might be smarter to move him now while they still have some leverage, rather than risk him walking for nothing after the season. Either way, this is not the kind of distraction the Raiders needed heading into roster cut week. Buckle up, because this could get messy fast. And if the first news already raised concerns, this second one might hit even harder. And it just dropped. The final preseason game for the Raiders was supposed to be a tune-up, a last look at the depth chart before the real stuff begins. Instead, it delivered a gut punch that'll have ripple effects into the regular season. Backup quarterback Aiden O'Connell went down with a fractured wrist and is expected to miss the next 6 to 8 weeks. Forget the 0-3 preseason record. Forget the L against the Cardinals. This injury might be the biggest blow of the summer. O'Connell was far from lighting it up during preseason action, but he was still the Raiders' most experienced safety net behind Geno Smith. And in today's NFL, a reliable backup is like gold, especially when your starting QB is a seasoned vet. You don't plan for disaster, but you sure as hell want to be prepared for it. Without O'Connell, that safety net just snapped. Now, the Raiders are staring down a tough question. What's the next move? Because while rookie Cam Miller flashed a little potential early on, the kid's clearly not ready to steer the ship if things go south. His debut looked promising, but the more film defenses got, the shakier he looked. Rookie growing pains? Sure. But he's not ready to be QB2 in real games that matter. So where does that leave Vegas? With cut day looming and veterans bound to hit the open market, it might be time for the front office to start scanning the wire or working the phones. They don't need a world beater. Just someone who can hold it down, run the offense, and keep them from imploding if Geno misses time. And hey, there's one name that's as entertaining as he is interesting, Jameis Winston. The guy's buried on the Giants' depth chart, but he's been there, done that. He can sling it, he's got experience, and he might be gettable if the Giants feel like they've got enough mentorship from Russell Wilson in the building already. Winston's not perfect, but he's got juice, and he'd bring some swagger to that QB room. The question is whether New York's willing to part with him, and if the Raiders are bold enough to pull the trigger. Because if they stand pat and hope for the best, they could be one rolled ankle away from chaos. Bottom line, the Raiders can't afford to gamble on hope. They need insurance, and they need it fast. The team's facing tough choices, and one wrong move could cost them big. Real fans stay locked in, so subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything happening with the Raiders.